Have you ever gazed into the mirror and questioned whether your beauty still shines? Not the kind of beauty that fades with the years, but the one that deepens, becoming richer and more profound with time. Society often equates beauty with youth, but that notion is far from the truth. The most captivating beauty is not found in wrinkle-free skin or a perfect figure. It is found in something far more enduring. Today we are going to explore 4 unmistakable signs that prove you are a truly stunning older woman, even if you don't realize it yourself. These signs transcend physical appearance, revealing a beauty that radiates from within. Stay with me until the end, because once you recognize these qualities in yourself, you will never again doubt your beauty. Before we continue, I would truly appreciate it if you could like this video. Your support helps spread the wisdom that aging brings. If you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. If you enjoy this video, comment with number 1. If you don't, comment with number 0 to help me improve future content. Now, let's get started. We have been conditioned to chase beauty, to believe that it is something to be preserved at all costs. We are told that aging diminishes our beauty, that wrinkles should be feared, and that growing older is something to resist. But this perspective is incomplete. Aging is not a loss. It is an evolution, a transformation to be embraced and celebrated. True beauty has little to do with outward appearances. It is not found in flawless skin or a youthful look. Instead, it is reflected in how you carry yourself, in the quiet confidence with which you navigate life, and in the wisdom that shines through your eyes. There are signs that reveal whether you are aging with grace and authenticity, and these signs are far more meaningful than any superficial standard. One of the first indicators of a stunning older woman is the way she moves through the world. Her pace is not hurried or frantic. She is not caught up in the race to keep up with ever-changing beauty trends or societal pressures. Instead, she walks with a grace that speaks of experience and wisdom. There is no urgency to prove anything. She has already learned that life is meant to be savored, not rushed through. She does not strive to turn back time, nor does she seek validation from others. Her steps are purposeful, yet calm. She moves with a quiet strength that commands respect without demanding it. This kind of presence cannot be faked or forced. It is cultivated over years of growth, learning, and self-acceptance. It is not about external approval, but about an unwavering sense of self-worth. She knows she belongs in the world, not because she has to assert it, but because she simply knows it to be true. Her confidence is not loud or boastful. It is steady, unshakable, and deeply rooted. This quiet confidence is reflected not just in the way she walks, but in the way she holds herself. She stands tall, not out of obligation, but because she has embraced herself fully. She does not shrink to make others comfortable, nor does she dull her light to fit into anyone's expectations. Instead, she exists as she is, fully present, fully aware of her worth. There is something magnetic about this presence. People are naturally drawn to her, even if they cannot quite explain why. They sense an energy, an aura of self-assurance that makes them feel at ease. She is not constantly adjusting herself, not fidgeting nervously or seeking reassurance from others. She is simply comfortable in her own skin, and that comfort radiates outward, making those around her feel at peace as well. There may have been a time when she questioned her own beauty, when she scrutinized every imperfection, every wrinkle, every change in her reflection. But as the years passed, she came to understand a profound truth. Beauty is not about perfection. It is about presence. It is about carrying oneself with confidence, with a quiet assurance that comes from truly knowing and accepting oneself. A woman who has truly lived carries with her the beauty of experience. She has weathered life's storms, faced heartache and loss, and yet, she still finds joy in the little things. She has laughed wholeheartedly, cried freely, and loved deeply. This depth of experience shapes her beauty, making it unique and irreplaceable. The most fascinating thing is that this woman does not chase beauty. She does not stand in front of the mirror searching for flaws, nor does she wait anxiously for validation from others. She has outgrown the need for constant affirmation. Her worth is not dependent on how others perceive her, and this liberation makes her even more captivating. Watch her in conversation, and you will see another sign of her beauty. She listens intently, without interrupting or filling silences with nervous chatter. She values what others have to say, and when she speaks, her words carry weight, not because they are rehearsed, but because they come from a place of wisdom and authenticity. She does not feel the need to impress anyone. She does not dominate conversations or seek attention, yet her presence is felt, and when she speaks, people listen. And then, There is her smile. It is not a forced, polite smile meant to appease others. It is not the hesitant smile of someone unsure of their place in the world. No, her smile is genuine, spontaneous, and full of life. It carries the weight of joy and pain, of victories and losses, and yet, it remains warm and inviting. Her smile is not a performance. It is an expression of deep contentment and peace. This is the beauty that comes with age. Not the fleeting kind that fades over time, but the one that grows deeper, more radiant, and more meaningful. It is not defined by societal standards, but by the essence of a life well lived. It is the beauty of a woman who has embraced her journey, who has learned from every experience, and who carries herself with dignity and grace. If you recognize yourself in these words, then perhaps it is time to stop questioning your beauty. Perhaps it is time to celebrate the woman you have become. Because the truth is, you are stunning, not despite your years, but because of them. Stop doubting whether you are beautiful. You always have been, and you always will be. With every passing year, your beauty only deepens. She moves through life with quiet confidence, unburdened by the need to announce her presence or fill spaces with unnecessary noise. There is no urge to dominate, no compulsion to impress. It is not a lack of confidence, but rather the presence of something greater. A deep-rooted understanding that her worth does not depend on external validation. She has lived long enough to know that true presence does not come from being the loudest or the most noticed. It comes from being fully, unapologetically herself. There was a time when she may have felt the need to prove herself, to ensure she was seen, valued, and appreciated. She once believed that her worth was tied to how much she achieved, how much she did, how much she was acknowledged. But life has taught her otherwise. She no longer chases approval or competes with anyone because she has realized there is no real competition. No one else can be her, and she has no desire to be anyone else. Her beauty does not fade in the presence of another's. It does not diminish when compared to youth or an idealized version of beauty. She does not see other women as competitors, nor does she perceive their radiance as a threat. She knows that beauty is infinite, not a resource to be hoarded or fought over. Her beauty is unique, shaped not just by her physical features, but by her kindness, wisdom, and the quiet strength she carries. It is in the way she listens, the way she understands, the way she moves through the world with a grace that cannot be taught. She has spent years molding herself to fit expectations that were never truly hers, bending and reshaping to avoid judgment, to feel accepted. But those days are gone. She has learned that self-worth is not something that can be borrowed from others' opinions. Approval is temporary, praise is fleeting, and so she has stopped seeking validation from outside herself. Instead, she listens to the voice within, the one she had once silenced but now trusts completely. She does not wait for permission to exist, nor does she shrink herself for the comfort of others. She is no longer apologetic about the space she occupies or the opinions she holds. She moves with certainty, not because she has all the answers, but because she trusts herself to navigate whatever comes her way. She has endured storms, setbacks, and disappointments, and yet she stands stronger than ever. She does not allow insecurity to dictate her choices, nor does she diminish herself for the sake of making others feel at ease. Her words carry weight, not because she raises her voice, but because she speaks with intention. She does not waste energy filling silence with empty words or proving herself through unnecessary explanations. She understands the power of restraint, the impact of a well-chosen moment of quiet. When she chooses to speak, people listen, not because she demands their attention, but because her presence commands it naturally. She no longer craves constant reassurance. She does not crumble at criticism, nor does she inflate at praise. She takes both lightly, knowing that neither defines her. She has learned that opinions are just that, opinions, shaped by the perspective of the one who holds them. She no longer gives others the power to shape how she sees herself. She does not long to return to a younger version of herself. She does not look at old photographs and wish for what was. She does not see aging as a loss, but as a transformation. She understands now that youth was never the pinnacle, that beauty does not vanish but evolves. She is not chasing an outdated image of herself because she is too in love with the woman she has become. She does not seek the spotlight, but there is an undeniable presence about her. People notice her not because she asks to be seen, but because authenticity is magnetic in a world filled with facades. She does not waste time explaining herself to those who have already decided who she is. She does not battle to be understood by those unwilling to see her truth. She has learned that peace is more valuable than winning an argument, and sometimes the strongest thing she can do is walk away. She no longer dresses to impress or alters her words to match expectations. She does not filter her personality to make others comfortable. She wears what makes her feel good, speaks with honesty, and lives with a rare kind of freedom. She has let go of the exhausting act of being who others want her to be. Because of that, people are drawn to her. Not because she seeks attention, but because there is something captivating about a woman who has nothing to hide. She knows not everyone will like her, and she is at peace with that. She does not bend to fit into spaces too small for her, nor does she water herself down for those who cannot handle her depth. She has spent years discovering who she is, and now she simply lives as that person, unapologetically, without hesitation, without fear. She carries a light that is unmistakable. It is not the glow of youth, not a fleeting spark, but something richer, something deeper. It is a light forged by experience, by moments of joy and sorrow, by laughter that has filled rooms and tears that have washed away doubts. It is a light that does not fade but grows stronger with time. When she looks at others, she sees beyond the surface. She recognizes the silent struggles, the unspoken fears, the doubts hidden behind smiles. She understands because she has been there. She knows what it means to question, to seek meaning, to long for belonging. And so, when she moves through the world, she does so with a quiet assurance, a knowing presence, and a heart full of understanding. She does not rush, she does not force, she simply is, and that is enough. She moves through life with an ease that is not about arrogance, but an unwavering assurance. There is something about her presence that makes people feel safe, understood, and valued. She does not need to declare her wisdom, nor does she rely on grand gestures to reassure those around her. It is in the quiet strength of her being, the certainty in her step, the depth in her gaze. She knows now that true power is not found in seeking to be seen, but in embracing who she is, fully and unapologetically. The light in her eyes is not a reflection of an easy life, nor is it a result of a path free from hardships. Quite the opposite. It has been shaped by the struggles she has endured, by the uncertainties she has faced, and by both sorrow and joy that have carved her journey. She has known heartbreak that took the air from her lungs, faced betrayals that tested her trust, and stood at the edge of doubt with trembling hands. Yet through every moment of despair, she made a choice to continue forward, to embrace resilience not as a battle cry, but as a quiet, unwavering force within her. She understands now that suffering does not define her, but the way she has transformed through it does. The weight of her past has not broken her spirit. Rather, it has deepened her capacity for empathy, for love, for a strength that does not need to announce itself. Every loss, every disappointment, every unanswered question has shaped her, not into someone hardened by life, but into someone softened in the most profound way, someone who understands the beauty of simply being. There is a distinction between those who merely grow older and those who truly live. One accumulates years, the other collects wisdom. One marks time, the other embraces it fully. The difference is not visible in external ways, but is felt in the way she carries herself, in the way she moves through the world with a presence that does not demand attention, but naturally draws it. It is in the way she listens, not just to hear, but to understand. In the way she speaks, not to impress, but to uplift. In the way she walks, not with hesitation, but with a quiet, unshakable confidence. She no longer seeks approval, no longer tries to make the world understand her journey. She has accepted that not everyone will, and that is perfectly fine. She has learned that laughter is a form of survival, that joy can be found in the simplest of things. A familiar melody, the scent of rain, the embrace of someone dear. She knows now that happiness is not a destination but a state of being, a choice to see beauty in the ordinary, to find contentment in moments rather than milestones. When she enters a space, people feel something shift. They may not always have the words for it, but they recognize it. It is not about conventional beauty, not about youth or perfection, but about depth, about a soul that has lived fully. Some fight against time, fearing its passage, believing beauty is something fragile that must be preserved. But she understands the truth. Real beauty is not something that fades. It is something that deepens. It is found in the way she carries her experiences, in the love she gives freely, in the hope she continues to hold, even when life has given her reasons to let go. Her eyes still shine, not because she has been sheltered from the darkness, but because she has chosen not to let it consume her. She has seen the cruelty of the world, but has not let it steal her belief in kindness. She has faced heartbreak, but still chooses love. She has endured disappointments, but refuses to stop hoping. That choice, to continue believing in beauty, in goodness, in possibility, is what makes her remarkable. She still finds wonder in the world, in the golden hues of a setting sun, in the rustling of leaves in the breeze, in the quiet comfort of a familiar song playing in the background. She understands now that joy is not something granted by the world, but something cultivated from within. And because she has learned to nurture it, she radiates a rare sense of peace, one that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. When she looks at you, you feel it. That warmth, that quiet assurance, that silent promise that things will be okay. Not because she has all the answers, but because she has walked through fire and emerged stronger. Not untouched, but whole. She does not need to convince anyone of anything. She simply exists as she is, and that is enough. There comes a moment in a woman's life when she no longer waits for the world to define her worth. She no longer searches for validation in mirrors or the eyes of others. She no longer measures herself against impossible standards she once believed she had to meet. She has spent years trying to fit into molds that were never made for her. Years believing beauty was something external, something she had to earn. And then one day, she simply stops. Not out of rebellion, not out of defiance, but out of realization. She realizes beauty was never something she needed permission to claim. It was never something to be granted or withheld by the world. It has been hers all along, even in the moments she doubted it, even when she was too preoccupied to notice. Beauty is not in perfection, but in presence. Not in youth, but in the way she carries her life experiences with grace. Not in flawlessness, but in the way she continues to love, to give, to hope, despite everything. And so she moves through the world with an elegance that cannot be defined by the age or appearance. She is not chasing time, not resisting the inevitable changes it brings. She is embracing them, allowing them to shape her into someone even more radiant, even more powerful. Because real beauty is not about resisting the years. It is about embracing them, about understanding that every line, every scar, every lesson learned has only added to the richness of who she is. She does not fear what is ahead, for she knows that the best part of her story is not behind her. It is in every breath she takes, in every new day she welcomes, in every moment she chooses to be fully alive. And that is what sets her apart. She is not simply growing older, she is growing into herself. And that, more than anything, is the most beautiful thing of all. She once looked in the mirror and let others define what she saw. Their words shaped her perception. Their expectations dictated how she measured beauty. But now, she sees differently. She understands that beauty isn't something given by the world. It's something she claims for herself. And that realization changes everything. She no longer feels the need to apologize for the lines that have found a home on her face. Each one tells a story, a record of moments deeply lived. She does not resent the softness that time has woven into her body, nor does she try to erase the years from her skin. These are not flaws to be corrected, but proof of a life well spent. They are echoes of laughter that once filled the air, of tears that fell during both heartbreak and joy. They are the imprints of countless sunrises and sunsets, of lessons learned and wisdom gained. And truly, what could be more beautiful than that? She no longer dresses to fit the world's expectations. The weight of approval no longer presses upon her shoulders. Instead, she chooses what makes her feel most like herself. Some days, she embraces bold, vibrant colors that reflect the fire still burning within her. Other days, she prefers the simplicity of bare skin, a soft cotton dress, and the quiet confidence that needs no adornment. The difference now is that every choice is hers, and hers alone. Not made to conform, not made to gain validation, but made to celebrate her own sense of self. She has stepped beyond the need for admiration. No longer does she shrink to make others comfortable or dull her light so others may shine. She refuses to silence her confidence or pretend to be less than she is. She knows now that beauty is not about outshining another. It's not about appearing younger, thinner, or more desirable in the world's eyes. Beauty is about authenticity. It's about honoring the journey that brought her here and embracing the person she has become. If you're still watching, take a moment to reflect. What parts of yourself have you been trying to hide? What beauty have you overlooked in your own journey? Leave a comment below with the number 3 if this message resonates with you. She no longer fears aging. She sees what many overlook, that every passing year has only made her richer. Richer in understanding, in resilience, in stories worth telling. Time has not taken anything from her. It has gifted her depth, layers of experience, and a self-assurance that cannot be faked. She now understands that beauty is not in the absence of wrinkles, but in the presence of grace. It is not found in the pursuit of perfection, but in the embrace of imperfection. True beauty is carried in the way she walks, with her head high, with eyes brightened by wisdom, with laughter that spills freely from her lips. It is in the way she speaks, with certainty, no longer hesitant, no longer seeking approval. It is in the way she meets her reflection, not with critique, but with kindness, with gratitude, with love. She no longer waits for permission to exist beautifully. She does not search for signs that she is still relevant, still desirable, still enough. Because she knows, she always was. The world may not always recognize it. Society may not always celebrate it. But she has stopped asking for the world's validation. She no longer needs permission to be worthy. She no longer needs permission to be enough. She has given that to herself. And in that moment, in that unwavering certainty, she becomes more radiant than ever before. She embraces each day with an openness she never had in her youth. She has learned to savor the smallest joys, to relish the first sip of morning coffee, to feel the warmth of the sun on her skin, to laugh with the friends who have stood beside her through decades of change. The insecurities that once held her back have lost their grip. She understands now that her worth was never tied to youth, never tied to appearance, never tied to anyone's expectations but her own. She walks with confidence, not because she forces herself to, but because she has earned it. She speaks her mind without hesitation. She sets boundaries with both love and firmness. She no longer bends herself to please, no longer seeks to be liked by everyone. She has made peace with the truth. Not everyone will see her light, and that is perfectly fine. She does not need universal approval to feel whole. She is her own source of love, her own source of acceptance, her own source of peace. She no longer fears change. She has come to realize that change is just another word for growth. Reinventing herself is not something she left behind in youth. It is something she will do for as long as she chooses to evolve. Life does not diminish with age. It expands, deepens, becomes more profound. New experiences still await her, and she welcomes them all with curiosity, knowing that each one holds the potential for wonder. She does not cling to the past, nor does she dread the future. She lives fully, completely, without hesitation. She is not just growing older. She is growing wiser, stronger, more radiant with every passing year. And that, in itself, is the most beautiful thing of all. And there you have it. True beauty isn't about age, perfection, or fitting into society's narrow standards. It's about confidence, presence, the way you carry the wisdom and experiences that life has gifted you. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What is one lesson from this video that you will take with you moving forward? Comment below and let me know. And if you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Elderly Hacks for more